Right now, we have another young Indian with us, part of the Voice of the Young series. Hello, everyone. Good to be back with you. Right now, we have with us Krisha Chandnani. Let's listen to her. Over to you, Krisha.
Thank you so much, sir. And hello, everybody. My name is Krisha Chandnani, and I graduated this year from the Symbiosis School of Economics with a BSc Economics honors degree. It had been a pretty hectic year. So this year, I decided not to be tied up really with anything. But currently, I'm working with the Vasant Group of Industries with, on this project known as the Navbharat mission, which practically talks about being an e-commerce space for more of raw material and other equipment that is used in construction and real estate industry as a whole. And otherwise, if I talk about my interests, then I have a diploma in Bharatnatyam, and I have done a couple of levels of the digital synthesizer, which is very commonly known as the keyboard. I have grown up in a house that has always played Kishore Kumar and Mohammed Rafi songs, and that is probably why all of this music has, driven into my life. But I genuinely enjoy economics, and for the upcoming year, that's 2024, I'm looking to pursue data science and public policy, because I feel these, two very separate stark areas, where one is highly quantitative and the other is highly qualitative, just merging together is such a beautiful interlacing. And yeah, if I'm asked what drives me, I think the people in my life and the friends that I've had.
Okay, let's continue. Tell us more.
So to tell you more about me, my journey with economics sort of started in a very nice way, I would say. Like, most students are pretty, sort of pushed into it because they're like, we scored the highest in the economics paper in our 11th and 12th grade, so we'll pick up economics. But I, in fact, was very, very fascinated by microeconomics, which I still am. And really, macro is the weak part. But while I was in the 11th grade, that is when I first started studying economics. And it was sort of a victory in itself to take commerce instead of science, because there was a lot of pressure. But I'm so glad I took commerce. And the professor that taught me in 11th and 12th grade was excellent. And I feel I have always, always, always loved mathematics as a subject. So, when I looked at those graphs and the fact that there's a statement that's written and you can, see it in a visualized form, in a quantitative form, in real life. And that was, I think, very fascinating to me. So that is that was sort of my introduction into the world of economics. And I do not plan to leave that world anytime soon.
Okay. And then what happened in college? You
So
were the COVID batch, right?
yeah, yes, sir.
So go ahead.
So I was about to sort of fly to the UK for my undergrad degree as well. However, that did not pan out because of the COVID batch, of course. And there was a lot of fear everywhere. But I'm so glad I stuck around here, because I've had sort of the best experiences that one could have here, right? Like, I just did not study. I was a part of all possible cultural activities, all possible social activities. I was the president of the college in my last academic year, and I still managed to do fairly well in my academics. And I think I'm so grateful for that. And I loved economics as a subject, but I think my affinity towards the quantitative side of it, of course, developed in college. In fact, I, with a dear friend of mine called Stuti Jha, we worked together on our dissertation, and it was about the perception of sex workers in society. And this is sort of a field which is A, very taboo, and B, people try to pursue the qualitative side of it more. But we sort of performed non-parametric tests, the Kruskal-Wallis and the Mann-Whitney tests. And again, it was just another instance of trying to interlace something qualitative with something quantitative, because data, as they say, is the future. And I strongly believe that. So in college, I believe I was exposed to a bigger, broader base of economics, of maths, of leadership, and of friendships. Because, like I mentioned in the beginning, it would not have been possible without the people that I came across. Like managing, sort of studying, and all the other extracurricular activities, while occasionally I would say going out with friends, because I stayed back at home. So there was that hunch always. But it was excellent. I mean, I've had someone wait after their classes or after their work was done every day to make sure that I had support, that I was fed, and someone who sort of took care of the background work while I was busy somewhere else. So college was a whole different world together. And not forgetting to mention that I had excellent professors who treated me, who still treat me, in fact, like their own child, to make sure that, I'm taken care of. And I think it was like holistic development was what happened in college, I believe.
Wow, that's a great college, I must say. That they look after you as if you are their own child, and holistic development. That is clearly a wonderful college to be in. So, does your family live in Pune, or you were just in Pune by yourself?
No, my family lives in Pune. In fact, my grandfather was just about a month old when he came from Sindh, Pakistan during the partition. And since then, we've had our base in Pune.
Okay.
And yeah,
Okay. All
my
right.
family.
So they lived. All right. Good. So it's not like that you went to college and you were not at home. You were at home, but still
I was.
the college did great things for you, right?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do for the college?
Um, to be fair, I would say that I, as a student, as an individual, participated in as much as I could and tried to represent the college as much as I could. And I wouldn't really say that was a selfless act for the college, because it came with a lot of personal development and a lot of, you know, personal, probably benefits puts it in the negative manner. But yeah, I think what one of the best things that I could do for the college was sort of winning the gold medal, maybe, which will be conferred during the upcoming convocation at the university convocation. But I think what the college did for me was far greater
Yeah,
than what I
obviously.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's obvious. You are there to learn and to
yeah,
absorb and to develop. Okay, so it's a great
yeah.
college. I've had many students from Symbiosis, and it's a great place. There's no question about that. Okay, so what's your thinking? By the way, I had written, I don't know if you got that one, that you can show us a small clip if you have of your performance of any type. If you have a clip, maybe we can pause it and you can show us that clip. But if you don't want to, that's your choice.
I actually don't have any.
Okay.
I did read your guidelines.
Yeah.
However, it's been a while since I've like performed
Yeah.
professionally, both in dancing and playing the digital synthesizer. But I've been learning both, I believe, since I was 8 years old. And it playing the piano sort of stopped when I had a ligament tear in my left wrist,
Yeah.
but I continued dancing after that.
Yeah.
And I completed my Arangetram in 2016, which is supposed to be this 3 hour long performance with
Yeah.
just a 20-minute break in between, where you're supposed to change your attire and come back. And it's, we usually do perform on the stage a lot, but Arangetram is the official, ascend of the student on the stage.
Yeah.
That's what it is believed to be.
Yeah.
And I do the Kalashetram style of Bharatnatyam, which gives a lot of importance to bhav, which is, or abhinay, which is the
Yeah.
expression.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 3 or 4 other styles, such as the Panandulur or the Vazavur style, but I'm glad that I picked this and I could, manage to go forward with it. I completed my diploma, I believe, in 2019, just a year before COVID. And again, that break of 3 years was sort of because um, I suffered an injury, but it's all good. And I'm so glad that I've been able to, delve into multiple extracurricular activities. So,
Okay, well, since the music in your family is from my generation, the popular music, you can
yes.
please tell us one or two popular songs that you also like from those days, or that maybe remain in your mind. I'd like to know what they are. What remains of
Um,
those days in the young people's mind is worth knowing for me.
um, like I mentioned before, we've grown up. Like the moment you sit in the car, this is the music that will be played.
Yeah.
And if I have to tell you one song which none of the six of us can probably live without, it's Lag Ja Gale by Lata Mangeshkar.
Yeah.
That is an iconic song.
Yeah.
Otherwise, anything like
But you
Tujhse
said
Naraz.
Kishore Kumar and Mohammad Rafi, but now you are telling me a Lata song. Why don't you tell me a Kishore Kumar song or a
To
Rafi
be
song?
fair, so it has been more of that generation. I know that, I mentioned Kishore Kumar and Mohammad Rafi, but to be very honest, it's sort of the entire generation and the medleys that,
Okay.
I have grown up listening to. And to be fair, my brother is 3 years younger to me, and he's currently in the first year of his bachelor's degree. And honestly, if you ask him, he'll probably give the same response.
So your parents have really brainwashed you.
Yeah, we have lived with our grandparents since we were born.
Yeah.
And sort of my grandmother sings, and I have grown up in an environment where
Yeah.
we are a family, but we are such different individuals.
Yes.
Like, my mother is a painter. She paints on canvas and she has exhibitions and sells her
Mm.
paintings. My
Mm.
dad is very hardcore into business.
Yeah.
My grandfather is sort of what started off the business, because when he was a month old and he came all the way from Pakistan, they had nothing.
Yeah.
And it was starting from ground up. He just had this one notion that I am going to make, myself a self-made man. I'm going to work for myself, not for anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother loves cooking. My grandmother loves singing. My brother loves cricket. I'm someone who is majorly running away from sports all the time. But walking is something that I really, really enjoy.
Okay.
And if I have to mention one Kishore Kumar song, which sort of I thought of, was probably Ek Ajnabi Hasina Se.
Uh-huh.
That is another one of iconic songs. So now, since there's Spotify, all six of us use that Spotify family premium pack, and we have this one playlist where everybody will add to, whether it's my 76-year-old grandfather or my 18-year-old brother.
Okay, wonderful. It's a great event. It's it's good to hear all this personal talk, because it tells us who we are, how we live, and I'm little bit younger than your grandparents, but I think we grew up in the same milieu, so I can understand how
Yes.
the Sindhi migration. There's a little bit of documentation on my website, indiaofthepast.org. People don't realize it. They all talk of partition as Punjab and the movement of Punjabis, but actually the Sindhi, since we were in Rajasthan, so Sindhi migration was very clear, because
Yes.
we had in Jaipur a place called Sindhi Camp. Sindhi Camp is a place where they put the displaced Sindhis when they first came. And even by the time I was in college, the Sindhis were all minting money. So it seems to be in the business, right?
Yeah, I believe that's, to make our stomachs full, sort of, that started because my family started off with a soap factory.
Yeah.
like making soap in the same room that they slept in.
Yeah.
From there on, it has been a journey, and I think uh, it's very like off center, but one of the reasons why I want to sort of also pursue public policy and data science is to get a clearer picture of how can business get better. Everybody is pursuing business analytics, and so can I. But probably I want to start a family, but every individual is different.
Okay.
More
So since we are talking, since you implicitly said something, let me ask, what's your future in your own mind?
To begin with, if I just start from what I want to pursue next, when I mentioned data science and public policy, I recently worked on a World Bank funded project uh, about the district strategic planning of and one of the things that sort of came up was, when you make a district strategic plan, you of course have to go through a lot of material, and there is so much redundant material that is available for a district that is as small as Gondia. Because let's say they have a forest division report, and that report alone is, let's say, 300 pages long. When you go to the district handbook, which was curated back in 2011 during the census, that is about 900 pages long. And these contain important data, these contain policies and schemes that sort of govern the people that live in Gondia. How these, and the people of Gondia and the people of other districts who are deciding probably to migrate in and out of Gondia must know that, what these policies are. But in fact, if people like you and I also are not working on that particular district, we will never go open that 900-page report and read it.
Right.
And I think what my future holds is sort of quantification of public policy. Now we have data visualization tools. Power BI is booming everywhere. We have data languages, again, Python, SQL, all of this is booming. And creating interactive dashboards is so crucial and so important. And I think primarily working with international institutions before I sort of venture out on my own to advise or to work for the government to make interactive dashboards and more concise, people know what is governing them and what are the regulations. People in India are extremely unaware. To mention another fact, I also worked on this project from Navbharat, which was about the long-term impact of refinances. And in certain places such as Jalgaon in Maharashtra, these women accepted loans for 24.75% per annum, and they thought this is cheap.
Yeah.
We're getting for cheap. When they can actually venture out and get, they do not know that. And they neither do they have the very basic documents such as an individual PAN card to go get a loan. When they build a self-help group, yeah, the government is giving them a self-help group PAN card.
Yeah.
But, and again, these women really are not going to go read these redundant reports and, make sense out of it. But sure, you show them and a part of media, even if it's like a pie chart, even if they can click on the pie chart and see sort of, grains and sort of money, then they are going to get better at it themselves.
Okay.
Because even if the government prescribes workshops, how many women are going to come and sit in those workshops? And what is a 2-hour workshop going to do for the rest of their lives?
Yeah, these are tough questions, to bring the schemes and projects and all to the individual who has no interest and time to sit through this, to read the
Exactly.
guidelines and get all of this done. It is a real issue, and that's why we have poor implementation, because we don't really focus on the target beneficiary. Okay, that's my general view, that we don't focus enough. We make the policy without thinking of the target beneficiary too much. We should really first say, look, what can the target beneficiary do? Right? And then make the scheme around it.
Right.
But instead, we try to make a scheme that looks good to us. And then we find that the target beneficiaries pay no attention. This is like, okay, fine, I don't have the time for all this, or it's too unfamiliar. So there is a little, not a little, quite a significant problem in implementation, because you just announce the scheme and you say it's there, but it's really not working because you didn't think of the key person, the target beneficiary.
And to add on to that, in fact, let's say in the case of the Nabard project, Nabard is like giving loans to, for example, any small finance bank for 12% per annum or 11% per annum. And the work of the small finance bank is to give the loans, ahead for the exact same value. But they're giving loans away at double the interest rate. And NABARD as an apex institution has set up these checkpoints in terms of these small finance banks, but these small finance banks themselves are corrupt. So
Yeah,
one apex institution, let's say two possible cities, how will they manage more than 1 lakh SHGs that are in India?
yeah.
There needs to be a better decentralization, and I think people need to keep a check in a better manner.
Okay. It's a very good experience at such a young age that you are getting. I'm really happy to hear it, because very practical. We just can't have theory all the time. We need to be very practical to see what's happening. And the scale of the country is huge. As you said, you have so many SHGs, and then how are you going to manage them? Okay. So we need to think about these issues. Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Probably talking about, like I mentioned, data is the future. I sort of also believe that sustainability is the future and nobody can run away from it. Uh, when I mentioned that I'm currently working on the Navbharat mission, which is aspiring to be an e-commerce site for, let's say, steel, let's say cement, where you have to still call up people and ask for rates daily, because for these the rates change daily. And when you're constructing a particular residential area, you are not going to, let's say give me 100 kgs of steel. It's probably going to be 100 tons of steel.
Yeah.
So but I think with an e-commerce website like this, we again sort of mean to drive forward and try to reduce the I wouldn't say carbon footprint, because again, the entire shipping process comes into picture, the entire let's say over mining at one place where the steel is good comes into picture. But I believe that it sort of consolidates the audience in one place. And ESG again is environmental, social, and governance. So at least it takes care of the employee part of it, the social part of it, where the way that employees in a particular firm are being treated, they're no longer just on their phones calling, and they're no longer working for a construction firm, still working for a call center kind of situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
And
yeah, wonderful. But where do you think, which institution offers the course that you are looking for? This merge of qualitative and quantitative.
To be fair, sir, my target institution right now is the University College London,
Okay.
because not only do they provide data science and public policy interweaving, but they provide it in two methods. So one of them is the political science method, and one of them is the economics method. And in the political science method, they talk more about, again, qualitative and implementation. And the economics method talks more about data visualization, more about condensing public policy. So not only do I get to choose a particular course, I also get to choose the particular route. And when I
Okay.
choose the economics route, of course, it's going to be more quantitative.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. When do you think this might happen?
In fall 2024, for sure.
Okay, so you are going to apply soon, right?
I already have, actually, and I do have a couple of acceptances from different universities, which sort of match up to the course that I'm looking for, but not exactly.
So
But
what
I
are
think
they?
which
I'm just curious.
sort
So
of
could
give
you
me the exact way of it.
could you share their names? I'm just curious of these other institutions.
So I have
Go ahead.
so I have acceptances from the University of Leeds, the University of hello.
Yeah, go ahead. University of Leeds and
Yeah. So I have acceptances from the University of Stirling and the University of Nottingham. So
okay.
these are the universities that I have check boxes from, but um, I have a target in mind, and definitely I'm going to run behind it no matter what it takes and get to the course that is my target.
All right, fine, wonderful. It's good to be passionate about what you want to do and to go for the best. Why not? Okay, but it's all in the UK, right?
Yes, sir.
All in the UK. All right.
Yes. Yeah, for now it's all in the UK because I somehow lean more towards UK over the US.
All right, fine. Anything else you want to add? Any tips for your juniors? Anything?
Tips for juniors, I've said it before once in the farewell of the course, and I'll just say it again, that take part in as many things as you can, because probably just getting the highest, I don't know, percentage is not what is going to make you a full person. So take part in everything and anything that you can and gain experiences, and you're going to meet the most amazing people on the way, and you're going to learn a lot of wonderful things.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you have been so frank and so clear, and you've told us so many things about yourself, your family, music, dance, everything. We have covered a lot of ground. I'm really happy to hear all this from you. And maybe we'll catch up with you 1 year from now when you are in the University College London.
For sure. For
And
sure. For sure. I'm pretty positive that.
All right, so am I. Let's see what
1 year.
happens. Let's hear
Yes.
from you at that time. So for the moment, let's say bye to the viewers. I'll be back with another young person. And by the way, it's a pleasure to see such a optimistic, cheerful young face. You know, it's always good to see this, that, you know, India has such people who know what they want, they know what they're going to do. It's great. And who have their feet on the ground too. You know, it's not like you're just dreaming. You have your feet on the ground and you're telling me this is what's happening in this district, this is what's happening in that district. It's a great pleasure, let me say. But let's say bye
Thank you
for
so
the
much,
time
sir. It
being,
was great
and
talking
I'll
to
be
you.
back with somebody else. Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.